What's going on, everybody? It's Christmas Eve, and I hope that all of you are with loved ones, with family, with friends, enjoying yourself, relaxing. And, this time of year, there's something about it, right? We all have so many memories about, our childhood, some good, maybe some not so good. But the key, I think, is that we all take a step back, take a deep breath, relax, and enjoy the moment. Enjoy the moment that we're in. Now, a couple of quick things to point out for you or share with you. My normal Wednesday Q&A is going to come out on Thursday. I don't really know it just doesn't seem right to be releasing a video on Christmas Day to me. So I won't be doing that. So I will be actually recording that today, and I will be posting that on Thursday. Also, I have a short-winded episode with a fun guest coming up this weekend, so look forward to that. Now, the thing about this particular video is, let me just start by saying, we lost an all-time great player, and we lost an all-time great person and personality in the game in Rickey Henderson this week. And Rickey Henderson, it's hard to not like Rickey Henderson. Whether, as a Yankee fan, a lot of good memories, living in Northern California, got to see him play live several times. I never saw a player change the game, in the moment. It was Rickey Henderson and Barry Bonds. Those two guys were able to completely change an inning, change a game by themselves. And, I guess I should say pitchers could too. But from an offensive standpoint, those guys were nuts. They were absolutely freaks at what they did. And, if I were putting together my all-time lineup, it would be tough to not have Rickey be my starting left fielder and leadoff guy. He was incredible. And it was a surprise. I actually had heard late on the night of, I guess it was the 20th, I saw a Facebook post that somebody said, it just said devastated with a picture of Rickey. And then the next day around noon, which would have been, I think, the 21st, I might be getting my days off here it was starting to come out. Oh my gosh, this is actually happening. People were waiting for initial announcements. And it's obviously not, it's awful. I just saw Rickey, 3 months ago at a card show, and he was super friendly to people. He was super outgoing with people. And I get the love for Rickey. He was tremendous. And there's something happening right now with his cards, which just doesn't make a lot of sense. Now, I totally understand the nostalgia. I totally understand wanting to honor Rickey by getting, one of his cards or something. And I don't want to act like I know more than anybody, because I don't. Trust me, I don't. And I don't want to act like how other people spend their money is I'm evaluating as right or wrong. I'm not trying to do that. If Rickey passing away, it brings you joy to go out and buy a Rickey Henderson rookie card, more power to you. What I wanted to do is I wanted to look at how the market has been affected by this news. And looking at past experiences to try to get an idea of what actually might be the best financial course of action. When something unexpected happens, it tends to affect the price of things more than when unexpected thing happens, right? And Rickey was 65 years old. It was not expected that Rickey was going to pass away. That was not the news I think anybody was expecting to get. Yet here we are. And the prices of his rookie card has gone crazy. And And I understand why it's gone crazy, but I don't know if that's a permanent price change. I think it's a temporary thing. So the first thing I want to do is I want to take a look at what has happened to Rickey Henderson's 1980 Topps rookie card in the last 5 days or so. And I want to talk about it, and then I want to look at what the prices of some other players, what their cards, their rookie cards did when they passed away, and kind of use that to figure out if we can learn from it on what might happen with Rickey's cards. So let's take a look at some recent sales. Now this is going to be from my Card Ladder account, and then there are going to be some market movers charts that I'm going to put in there as well. But let's take a look at what has been happening with Rickey's rookie card recently and some other players when they passed away. Check this out. All right, Rickey Henderson's 80 Topps rookie card and a PSA 8. Check out this chart and what has happened over the last handful of days to his rookie card prices. That's wild. This is a 90-day chart. Now keep in mind, this rookie card, the population is not small. Look at how many 7s, especially look at how many 8s there are. How about almost 13,000? So if we look here, the last few weeks, this card was selling for $200. A nicely centered one, $280, $250, $285. Some signed ones in there, $275, $250, $250. Again, some nice cards as low as $189. So this one is a little off center, the one that sold for $189. That's probably the reason. So that was, these are last week. These are December 18th, 19th, 20th. And then we get the news on the 21st that we lost Rickey. His card was selling for $275, $240, $240, $275. And then on the 21st, the news starts breaking, and you're going to see what happens to the price. Again, they're selling this is a very commonly sold card, and now all of a sudden it's $350, and it's $325. So you go $350, yeah, $350, $325, $375. Again, this is a day after they were selling for $250. $410, $350, $375, $290. Again, some signed ones are up to $1,500. And it's just $385, $369, $369. And I know I'm going through them quickly, but $479, $420, $430. $430. Here's one, $545. $400. $400, $400, $400. $398, $425, $405. This is a card that we just saw a second ago was selling for $250. 3 days before. 3 days before, and the $250 card is now $411 there. $390. $399. That's kind of crazy. Okay, so clearly I've not seen a spike in price because of the death announcement of a player like that. The Rickey Henderson jump has been really, really high. And one of the reasons, I think, is because it was so unexpected. When you have some other players pass away, you kind of go, well, they were in their 90s. They were 93 and they've been kind of sick. They've been in a wheelchair and, their body's gone through a lot or whatever. But Rickey's card prices have gone crazy. Now, I'm not going to pretend to be the smartest guy in the room, and I'm not going to pretend to be the all-knowing economist. I am just a guy with an opinion who loves cards and likes looking at what's happening to try to learn from it. But there is a guy who knows a lot about money, and he warns us about allowing things in the news from affecting our financial decision making too much. So let's hear from the guy who is the smartest guy in the room, Warren Buffett.
There's a certain irony in that we would do the best over decades if we operated in a market where people operated very foolishly. And the more people respond to short-term events and exaggerated things or anything that causes people to get wildly enthusiastic or wildly depressed actually is what allows people to make lots of money in securities. And on the other hand, it's not the greatest thing for a society. And Charlie and I have benefited enormously by the fact that over a 50-year period, there have been a few periods, probably the most extraordinary being 1973 and 74, where you could buy stocks unbelievably cheap.
The more that people respond to short-term events, the easier it is to make lots of money. That's Warren Buffett's response to anything in the market. When the market, people get too freaked out, when people get too excited, when people read the news and go, again, I'm just a guy, but when COVID hit and the market absolutely crashed and everybody was taking money and putting it in the bank, I was like, well, the world's not going to end. And if the world ends, it's not going to matter whether we have money in the bank or in the stock market. But I just have a hunch the world's not going to end. So what I did is, instead of putting money into savings, I took money out of savings and I went out and I bought a whole bunch of stocks. I bought a whole bunch of shares of a whole bunch of companies that are proven companies that have been around for a long time. And I waited about 6 months and then I sold it for like 3 times what I bought it for. Some people kind of go with a knee-jerk reaction. Some people actually take a step back and go, let's look at the long term, not the short term. And like Warren Buffett says, the more that people react and get too depressed or too excited about news events, it's not always that difficult to do well financially. Now, I'm a guy who collects cards. I'd like to have a Rickey Henderson rookie card. I don't have one. The last time I'm going to buy one right now, the worst time to buy one right now is like yesterday or the day before. Like, I'll have one someday, but I'm going to just step aside and let other people do their thing at this moment. Let's look at, what did card prices do when other legends passed away? Willie Mays, Brooks Robinson, Jim Brown. Let's take a look at the sales leading up to the time of their passing, and then the sales right after their passing, and then their sales after that. And again, see what we can learn from this. And then we'll talk a little bit more about it. So let's look at those charts, or those price logs here. Let's start with Willie Mays in a 1954 Topps Willie Mays in a PSA 4. So in winter and spring, this was a $850 card, sometimes as low as $700. There's one for $688. And then June 18th, he passes.
775. So again, right before he passed, 688, 692. Passes away June 18th. It spikes up to 775, 750, 860, 800. And those were all on the day of his passing. Well, one for 880. And then a week later, 725, 689, 689. There's one for 900, one for 825, another one for 825. In July, we're at 800. Now we're down to 616, 638, 777, 739, 690, 690, 810, 810, 770, 555, 510. I mean, that blip on the radar was very short. Look at what they're selling for now. 518, 650, 690. At or a little cheaper than they were before he passed. How about Brooks Robinson? Brooks Robinson's rookie card in a PSA 5, the 57 tops. We have 1,000, but then we have 700 in September before his passing. And then he passed away about a year ago in September. And 890, but then all of a sudden it shoots up to 1,000. So this is right when he passed away. Shoots up to 1,000, 800, 800. Now this one in October there is miscut. But then it's already in late October down to 700. Now we're into November. It's in the sixes, 660. We have a little jump there on probably a couple of nice ones, but then we're down to 680. There's one for 622, one for 700. There's a signed one for 1,100. They're selling for 546. There's one for 700. They're kind of all over the place. Again, based on centering probably. But now it's regularly in the sixes and low sevens. Again, another low sevens, sixes. In the sixes, low sevens. And it's just, again, the blip is temporary. Now there's a couple in the 400s. There's one for 500. There's one for 630. A well-centered one a little higher. So my point of what I'm saying is right before the player passes, and then just a few weeks later, it's kind of back to where it was. The jump right here when he passed. How about Jim Brown? We lost Jim Brown not that long ago. His rookie card, we've got a 1,300, a 1,550. This is in a PSA 4, 1,300. There's one for 880, 1,425, 1,200. And then we start closing in on when he passed away. And all of a sudden there's a jump. May 18th, May 19th, May 19th, May 19th, May 19th. Look at how many sold right then. Right when he passed away in mid to late May of 2023. May 19th. Again, people went out and bought them. It was up to 2,000, 1,800, 1,800, 2,000. And I get it. But then, just a week later, there's a couple that are super well centered. Centered ones go for a huge premium in the Jim Brown rookie card. But late May now we're at, 1,000, 16, 1,200, 1,300. There's another one for 1,225, 1,380, 1,500, 1,500, 1,400. The price does jump when a player passes, but it goes back to where it was. There's 1,000, 1,300, 1,500, 1,100. It changes quick.
So here's the point of this. The point of this is not that Rickey Henderson's rookie card is a bad buy. It's not that Rickey Henderson's rookie card isn't something we should own. If you want a Rickey Henderson rookie card, you should buy a Rickey Henderson rookie card. If you really feel emotionally that you want to buy it right now, then buy it right now. But based on history of when other people passed, there's going to be a spike and then things will come back to where they are. And in some cases, it even seems like they came down lower. Now, did they come down lower because the market is lower or because the market got flooded? Because, a lot of people said, now's my time to sell, and they put them on there and they flooded the market and the supply went way up. It's probably a little bit of all of that. But then there are times where news events make a price spike, and some of that spike is probably not going to go back down. I think in a year, Rickey Henderson rookie cards will probably be selling for approximately what they were selling for a month ago. But this next example, I think some of the price spike is going to stick around for a while. So let's take a look at what's happened recently with Dick Allen's rookie card prices. Check this one out.
So Dick Allen just got into the Hall of Fame, and his card was selling for 140, 165, 235, 235, and then boom, it's announced he's in the Hall. It's at 350. It jumped up $100 on the announcement. 350. That card went from mid to low twos. There's one for 375, one for 304, one for 330. The card jumped $100. Again, it was 235 right before the announcement. Wow.
I mean, his cards went up quite a bit, And here's the thing. The thing about Dick Allen's rookie card is, I believe some of that increase in value is here to stay. Now, it's spiking. It has spiked. And part of that is because it was kind of unexpected by some if he would make the Hall of Fame. He's been to the Veteran Committee ballot a couple of times. He's missed by one vote a couple of times. I think a lot of people thought this was the time he was going to get in. Mike Schmidt's been lobbying for him to get in. And I think that a lot of people aren't super surprised by this, but it still wasn't a for sure thing. And then his prices jumped. Now, I don't think his prices. So I think Rickey's cards are going to probably go back to approximately where they were in a few months or in a few weeks. But Dick Allen's is kind of different. Dick Allen's is different because he's now a Hall of Famer. And because he's a Hall of Famer, that is a permanent change. Now, Rickey Henderson passing away is a permanent change. But Rickey Henderson passing away is a permanent change that we knew was eventually going to happen. We didn't know for sure that Dick Allen would make the Hall of Fame. So what that does for Dick Allen is the demand is permanently going to be higher for Dick Allen because there are certain people who collect rookie cards of Hall of Famers or cards of Hall of Famers. He is now forever a Hall of Famer. Because he's forever a Hall of Famer, there are more people who want to add his rookie card to their Hall of Fame rookie card collection or their Hall of Fame collection. And so there will permanently be an increase in demand because before he wasn't a Hall of Famer. So all these people who like collecting Hall of Famers, like collecting rookie cards of Hall of Famers, that card is now on their list. And it wasn't on their list a month ago. So I think that Dick Allen's rookie cards will probably come down a little, but I think where they settle will be higher than where they were a month ago because the demand has permanently changed because of the people who collect rookie cards. So Greg, wait, are you saying then, Greg, as soon as somebody makes the Hall of Fame, their rookie card is going to go up in value? No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. For sure, I'm not saying that. Ichiro is going to make the Hall of Fame. We know that Ichiro is. Raise your hand if you don't think Ichiro will make the Hall of Fame. Okay. Nobody has their hand in the air. Nobody. Everybody knows Ichiro's going to make the Hall of Fame. I actually think Ichiro should be a unanimous choice. You know, Pujols is going to make the Hall of Fame. We know that. We know Verlander is going to make the Hall of Fame. We know Miguel Cabrera is going to make the Hall of Fame. Because we know they're going to make the Hall of Fame, most of the Hall of Fame collectors, it's already built into the price. There are Hall of Fame collectors that are already picking up the cards. We know Ichiro's in, so we'll go get the Ichiro. We don't need to wait for him to get in because he's a for sure. Dick Allen was not a for sure. It was a likely. It was a I think so, which is different than for sure. And because Ichiro is for sure, there might be a little blip where a few people jump out there and go, oh, I got to get it. It's like when Fred McGriff got it. Like Fred McGriff got in not that long ago, and his card saw a spike. He's forever a Hall of Famer. And there are some people who weren't sure that he would ever get in. And I think a lot of people weren't sure that he would ever get in. But now he is in and is forever a Hall of Famer. And so his prices jumped, and I think for the most part, some of that is going to stay. I think some of Dick Allen's is going to stay. I think a chunk of it is going to stay. His cards, I think, will forever be higher than they were a month ago. I don't think Rickey Henderson's are going to have a permanent jump. I don't think Ichiro's will have much of a jump, if any, because we expect it. So what am I saying? What's the moral of the story? The moral of the story is back to Warren Buffett, the smart guy, not me. Warren Buffett said, the more that people get really excited or really depressed from news makes it really easy for some people to make money. And what happens is there are these wild changes in the market when news happens. Rickey Henderson is in the news. He is an absolute legend. His prices jumped more than Willie Mays or Jim Brown or Brooks Robinson because it was unexpected. And there are a lot of people that are nostalgic about Rickey Henderson. And Rickey Henderson's rookie card is not as expensive as the cards that we were looking at of the other players. So it's only oh man, Rickey, I loved Rickey. I want his card. I had that as a kid. What? It's only $280? That's fine. I'll buy it. It's not like Jim Brown, who was in a wheelchair and was old and got beat up for years and years and years playing. We knew he was coming to an end. And then there's a little blip for a moment, and then it's back to reality. So I would just say, I'm never going to say that anybody who makes a decision with their money is doing something wrong. And I also am not going to say that you shouldn't want a Rickey Henderson rookie card. Of course. Anybody who collects probably is interested in having a Rickey Henderson rookie card. I just don't think right at this moment or a day or two ago or 2 days ago is the time to go for that Rickey Henderson rookie card. I would actually go so far as to say, if I had a Rickey Henderson rookie card in an 8 right now, I would consider selling it and then buying it back in 6 months for a big profit. Sometimes there's a permanent change in prices. I think Dick Allen will forever be higher than he was a month ago. Sometimes it's a temporary thing. I think Rickey Henderson is a temporary thing. Just my thoughts, but I felt like I needed to hit the panic button, the panic alarm, and just share some thoughts on this and make sure that we're all kind of thinking things through. That said, if you went out and bought a Rickey Henderson rookie card, congratulations on picking up one of the most iconic cards in the history of card collecting. I don't blame you at all. I love Rickey. I'll always love Rickey. Merry Christmas, guys. Thursday will be my Q&A. Tomorrow, enjoy your family and enjoy the holiday.